Hiya, welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitching, geeky. I'm Cece and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is Sunday, the 6th of March. I did not update my show notes. 2022, and this is episode 480. I'd like to say a big welcome back. Love y'all to all returning viewers and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. I did not record last week. Mental health is doing a bit better, but I had Dammy here. We were celebrating Pink's 6th birthday. Can you believe Pink is 6 years old? And just spending some good time together, and it just didn't happen to record. So that is just how it goes sometimes. I do want to address the situations going on in the world right now, and just holding space for every single person that is impacted by these attacks, and it's heartbreaking, and I'm holding space for you during this very, very difficult time. So there's also, I know, been some things going on within the crafting world, both knitting and cross stitch, and I'm really proud and grateful for those who are standing up against these inequalities, and let's do better, y'all. Let's do better. Let's just do better. So Dammy is well. Dammy is knee deep in getting through the end of the quarter, and then only one more quarter, and then they graduate, y'all. I cannot even. Yeah, it's these last 4 years, just wow. So they're doing well, and just staying extremely busy. So. All right, well, I have quite a bit to talk to you about, especially since I didn't record last week. I have a review for you, and I'm trying something different with the recording, and hopefully I won't have the sound issues that I was having last time. I'm not sure what was going on, but it was like there were times where it, like, the sound would like drop really low and then come back to normal, and I'm not sure why. So we're trying something different. Hopefully it works, and we will go from there. I started to see a physical therapist about my shoulder. Apparently everything I was doing to try to protect it was exactly the wrong thing. So yeah, we are working on things. I will see him several times over the next month or so, and then at that point we'll determine if an MRI is needed, or if I need more physical therapy, or what needs to happen. So there is where I am with my shoulder. I am still crafting, but also not pushing myself, especially if it starts having a lot of pain, I stop. So there we are. I think that's all the updates for now. So let's get started so I can show you some stuff. I got some pretty yarn. I got all kinds of stuff over here. So here we go. Just a note, I thought I had figured out how to fix the sound issue where the sound dropped in volume occasionally, and what I tried to fix it didn't fix it. However, in doing some looking after I finished recording the podcast, I think I found a solution, so hopefully in the future we won't have that issue. But just an FYI, I am aware about the sound issue, and I'm doing everything I can to try to fix it. However, I do not have time to re-record the entire podcast. So apologies for the sound issue where the sound drops out a little bit in places, and hopefully this new fix that I found will fix it for future videos. Thanks for understanding. Love y'all. All right. right, let's talk about what's on my needles. Two things. First up in my kitty bag from Little Fish Stitches, I am working on birthday socks for my bestie's husband, Jeremy. And I'm using my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern. I'm on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, the 9-inch Shorty ones that I affectionately call Zoom Zoom needles because you zoom around in circles. And I'm using Knit Picks Felici in the Vampire Vibes colorway. So it's a 6-color stripe. So if you've been around, you have heard me, quote unquote, complain about how big Jeremy's feet are because he has rather large feet. So his birthday's not until May. I was like, you know, I should probably just go ahead and start those. So the Felici comes in 50-gram skeins. So of course I bought 2 skeins, so I can use 1 skein per sock if needed. So, but yeah, just got those, the darker gray, the black, the maroon, the red, the pale gray, the light gray, and then we're back to the darker gray. So working on those. And I had forgotten how soft Felici is. It's so nice to work with. And then the other thing in my maker bag from Nerdbird Makery, I am working on the Dust of Snow wrap. Get the paper here so I can show you. So that's what it's going to look like when it's finished, except in different colors, obviously. And I am on US 6's 4 mil needles. This pattern is by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. I don't know if I said that. So I am doing 12 rows a week. So here is where I'm at. So I won't always go through all the colors because it's going to be 24 colors when it's done. But starting at the beginning, at the bottom, that's Barocco Folio in the 4 Pearls colorway. Next is Into the World Picaco sock in the Bigger on the Inside colorway. Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love sock in the Magician colorway. Desert Vista Dyework sock in the Alyssa Zambati Edwards colorway. And I haven't put this one in the show notes yet. Sweet Georgia Yarns Fingering in the Birch colorway. And I only have just a few more rows of this. And so by the time I see y'all again, I pulled out the next 2 colors and I can't remember what order they go in. It's this one's next. Look at that. This is Dreaming Color Smooshy in the Melon Bomb colorway. Oops. My little label came out. And all these yarns came from an advent calendar that Silver D and Friends sent me for Christmas. And then after the Melon Bomb will be this beauty, which, let's see if I can read it without taking it out. No, I'm going to take it out. Fully Spun Postscript Fingering in the Intersex Pride colorway. So Dammy picked the order for the colors to go in, and I'm loving it. I think they're turning out beautifully. And like I said, I'm just doing 12 rows a week. So 2 rows a day and have 1 day off. And of course, it's going to take some intense blocking to open up that lace. But it's so pretty, and it's going to be so nice when it's done. So this will be done by the end of the year. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. I need to do 3 more rows and I will be 20% done. So not bad for the beginning of March. And that is everything that is currently on my needles other than today's preemie hat. And that means I have some FOs to show you. So let's move on to the next segment. Now let's talk about some finished projects. I have 2 finished preemie hats. So these are from my top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get for free on javapearldesigns.com. And as always, everything that we talk about in the show is in the show notes at ggkcs.com. I'm on US 6s. So this was preemie hat number 8. And this was Knitology Glowing Worsted in the Pachyderm colorway and Shepherd Classic in the Cultured Pearls colorway. And then number 9 is I held together, one strand of each, of Barocco Vintage Decay in the white colorway and Desert Vista Dyeworks Sock in the Alyssa Zumbidy Edwards colorway. Yes, that's the color I just was talking about. One of the colors I was just talking about on the needles from my Dust of Snow wrap. I love how that turned out. I think it's so pretty. So there is Preemie Hats 8 and 9. I will do Preemie Hat 10 today. And then my other FO is a pair of Shorty socks for me. And y'all, this took like, when I finished, I had like maybe 5 inches of yarn left. So this is what I am calling my Meow Shorty socks. Again, using my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles. And the yarn is Rock and String Creations Jitterbug sock in the Meow colorway. The colors obviously don't match up. The stripes, I thought they were going to match up, and then they didn't. Not quite. Because on this one, this was the first one. And this one, the first half of the heel was one color, and the second half was another color. This one, it like went a little bit over. So I'm not sure what I did. I tried to match them up. I wasn't trying to match up the colors, but just trying to match up like the stripe sequence, but I was off. Inside my shoes. Nobody will know except for me and y'all. So yeah, I'm loving building up my wardrobe of Shorty socks, so that, because I have tons literally of like tall socks that I wear during the like autumn and winter, but definitely into latter spring and summer, I like the Shorty socks, and I just don't have a ton of those that I've made. So we're just building up the wardrobe. So, all right, well, that's everything I finished. That was 3 FOs, y'all. That was a lot. So let's move on to the next segment and talk about some cross stitch. And now it's time for FlossTube. So, as y'all know, I am cross-stitching an ornament every month to decorate my Christmas tree. And I pulled out this booklet. It's JBW Designs Christmas Ornaments Limited Edition Collector's Book by Judy Whitman. And apparently there are more of these books. I got this one in the Black Needle Society Nice List box from 2020. And it doesn't make sense to me, but like I would have thought that they would have put the patterns in order here, but they didn't. But I am stitching, I'm going to try to stitch them in the order that they are in the book. So the first one is called Christmas Tree. It's this one right here. And I'm not going to stitch these with the called for flosses. I'm just going to like pick and choose what I want. And I'm going to stitch these on Mill Hill 14 count perforated paper, and it's a white paper. This one, I pulled out some random floss that I had. It's Dimensions 16256, and I might run out, so I'm going to have to see if I can match it. I think it might be DMC 906, but we'll see. I'm just going to hold something behind it so you can see. So just stitching like that, and then I'm going to use felt to back these. I probably will trim. I probably won't leave this in a rectangle. I'll probably trim it some. But that's over halfway done. I may have to like do like the base of the like the where would be the not the branch, the wood that's at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's screaming it at me. Anyway, the wood that's at the bottom of the tree. I don't know why I can't think of this word. I might have to do it and the deer in a different color, or, you know, if I can match up a DMC to it, I can finish it up. If I have that color in my stash. But, yeah. Just stitch it away. So this is only like 2 nights work, so it's gonna stitch up fairly quickly, and yeah, So there's that. Next up, in my 805 Stitcher Humans with Cat Heads project bag, I am working on Spooky Stories Bookmark by Black Needle Society, Katie Landis. There's the bookmark. Off to my grave, for I am dead. Place at my side a needle and thread. And this is on Mill Hill 14 count perforated paper in the mocha colorway, called for DMC flosses. And here's where I'm at. Let's see, can I put it to that side? There we go. So I need to do my side, needle and thread, and then the thread and the needle and the stars. And this is all from the Trick or Treat box from the Black Needle Society. I will remind you at the end of the show about my coupon code that you can save in the vault. Okay, then we have in my Outlander, which is back today, Outlander Season 6. I'm so excited to watch. To Bed or to Sleep. Actually, To Bed or to Sleep. Project bag that was made for me by Stitch Toolbox. I am stitching on, things are sticking together. I'm stitching on Modern Folk Embroidery, The River, that came in the Black Needle Society. Which box was this in? Was it the Resolution stitching box, I think, maybe? But I am modifying it. I am not doing the letters or the numbers. I took this bottom motif here and flipped it so it will mirror it at the top and bottom. I am on Steel City Stitcher 16 count Ada in the Crimson Peak colorway, Forbidden Fiber Co. Floss in the River of Life colorway, and everything came in a Black Needle Society box. Fabric, floss, needle minder, everything. So there's where I'm at. So I did the math, and if I do 185 stitches a week, I'll finish this by the end of the year. So I think I'm at like 1,400 something stitches now or something like that. You can look on my Instagram, cc_dramapearl, because I post about it once a week. So nearing completion of that top motif, and then it will start down into the flowers and the deer. So this type of motif will look like that. So it's almost shocking how many stitches there are in this one big motif. So that is what I'm doing on that one. And then finally, my 25/7 project, which is where you either stitch 25 stitches a day or 25 minutes a day on a project. This is in my Winnie the Pooh project bag from Knit Run Dig. And I am working on Edinburgh Castle by Terra Luna Stitchery. And everything that I'm using for this project is in the show notes, ggkcs.com. I post daily in my Instagram stories, my progress. And then once a week, I post in my actual feed. And that is on Fridays is my end date for the week. So on Friday, when I finished, which would have been, I had finished this square going down to this diagonal. I finished once because last night I did that square and part of this square. I was at 55,540 stitches out of 265,824 complete. I'm at, y'all, drum roll, 20.894% complete. So I hit the 20 mark and 10 of 60 pages. Although I think I only have like maybe, I think these like maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5, maybe like those squares. And then I'll be at like a page finish. It's somewhere around here, I think, or here maybe. I'll have a page finish, but I mean, I've obviously done more because I'm doing it in the diagonal. But this is the bottom of the second row of pages. So I'm doing how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 an 8 square diagonal, and each square is 100 stitches. And I'm doing this 10th stitch, which means you stitch one leg of the stitch, and I'm using 2 strands of floss over one, and this is a 25 count. I just was getting a message that my groceries are on their way, so they're not here yet though. A 25 count, I think it's called Easy Grid, and the lines do wash out. So when I get all done, I will wash this project and all of the grid lines will disappear. So you won't be able to see any of it. So, yeah. And who knows when I'll be finished with it, but 25 stitches is more than 0 stitches. And I've been doing about 25 minutes a day. So I'm making good progress on this. And yeah, every little bit makes me have, be further along. So. All right, well, I'm going to move on to the next segment. I do have some cross-stitch content there, so you should definitely stick around. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about, Yummies. So about a little over a week ago, my friend Caitlin, longtime viewer of the podcast, kjohnson21 on Instagram, was in Seattle. And so I met up with her for dinner. We went to this fabulous place called Cafe Limoncello, and it was Italian food. And I had an amazing cocktail, and they had gluten-free options. So I had a great gluten-free pasta, and it was so good, and it was fun to spend some time with Caitlin. And she brought Dammy and I needle minders, and okay, hold on, let me show you. Peace, love, coffee. Love that. So cute. She believed she could, so she did. And I think Dammy is going to want this one, and I really want it too. This is RBG is my Meow. How fabulous is that? So thank you so much, Caitlin, for that. And I really enjoyed our time together. That was a lot of fun. Next up, I got my February shipment of Fangirl Fibers Gilmore Girls yarn. This is her fingering base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 100 grams, 400 yards. And this is, the colorway is Lane's Drums, which is season 2, episode 20. So it's this kind of red, that's a little true, reds and maroons and burgundy. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. So that's my February shipment of that. My amazing friend Yuko of Honeyberry Studios, see Honeyberry Studios there at the bottom. She always writes a sweet note. Sends a thank you card with your order. Just had her new collection of stationery, and that includes stickers, drop in the last week or so. And of course, I had to get her stickers. I have, I think, almost all of her stickers on my bathroom mirror. I just like put putty on the back of them, and I put them around my bathroom mirror because most of them are like affirmations or mantras or whatever. So I actually ordered 2 sets of stickers because I love these stickers so much. And I was like, you knew when you made these that I need them, because I'm always telling Yuko, you need more stickers. You need more stickers. So this is the stickers from her new cat collection. This first one says, everyone's journey is different. Look at that upside down head. Love that upside down head. This one is, you are already worthy. And the last one says, you are my happy place. Oh, I just love her stuff. honeyberrystudios.com. You should check it out. She does such amazing stuff. And then finally, the new issue of Pom Pom Quarterly came. Spring 2022, issue 40, Dreamscape. Always have to smell it. The paper they use smells so good. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Well, they use vegetable oil-based inks, but I don't see where it says what the paper is, but it smells so good. So I'm going to review this for you a little later in the episode. So stay tuned for that. And those were my yummies for this week. So, yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for what we're reading, watching, and listening to. We're going to see if I can make it through this segment before my grocery delivery gets here. If I have to break it in half, I will, but we'll see. Let's see what we can do. A reminder about our 2022 RAL read along. This is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day, every day. It doesn't matter what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. There is, we do this in seasons. So right now we're in January, February, March. And by participating in that, you'll earn entries into the year-long challenge. And then at the beginning of 2023, we will draw for 3 grand prize winners. There is the thread in the Facebook group to enter. And yeah. All right. What I am reading. So I actually started over reading How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can, a total self-healing approach for mind, body, and spirit by Amy B. Shire. I had set it aside and I felt like, excuse me. I felt like I needed just to start it again. So I started it again and I'm making good progress through it and really enjoying what I'm learning in it. Okay, for my Unashamed Love Collective book club, this month we are reading Found in Transition, A Mother's Evolution During Her Child's Gender Change by Pariah Hasori. And it's fascinating. It is I'm about maybe a third of the way through it now. And right now we are in the childhood and the early days of Pariah's transgender daughter, and what those early days looked like. And so it's really, really a fascinating read so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm also continuing to read Inward by Young Pueblo. I am actually, I want to say between 75 and 80% done with it. I've just been reading a poem or a little whatever, a mantra or thought or whatever every night before bed. I'm still reading and writing in Get Untamed, the Journal by Glennon Doyle. Okay, I finished listening to the 4th and final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco called Capturing the Devil. And that was a really enjoyable listen. I listened to all 4 books in that series. I finished the 3rd and currently final, maybe they'll do more, I hope, book in the Rebel Mechanics series by Shanna Swinson called Rebels Rising. And this is what if, it's an alternate history. What if the U.S. had never left or, fought their way from British rule? But within the series, now they're wanting to fight their way out from under British rule. But there's also the very much steampunk feel to the story. So it was a really good series. Probably my favorite book that I've read this year so far, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. He also wrote The Martian. I'm sure this has been optioned for a movie or TV or whatever. It'll be interesting to see how they do it because of, I don't want to give any spoilers because it was such a good read. But kind of the premise of it is the world, the earth is undergoing a, I can't think what the term they use for it is, but an event kind of like what happened with the when dinosaurs, became extinct or whatever. I can't think of the term. Gosh, I hate fiber brain. But it's like something is causing the sun not to emit as much light and heat and such as normal, and so it's changing the earth, and people, they're predicting billions of deaths and such. And so there's this Project Hail Mary to try to go see the same thing is potentially happening out in space somewhere, but it seems like this other planet is being able to fight it, what's happening. So they're going to go try to figure it out. That's as much as I'm going to tell you, because the rest of what I would say is total spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it. Probably my favorite book I've read this year so far, Project Hail Mary. I finished reading book number 11 in the Duncan Kincaid and Gemma James series by Deborah Crombie, Water Like a Stone. And I'm currently reading book 12, Where Memories Lie. And this is set in the UK, and it's a detective stories. I finished reading book 9 in the Ruth Galloway series called The Chalk Pit by Ellie Griffiths. This is the series where it's also set in the UK, and she's anthropologist. I'm telling y'all, the fog is real today. But she also helps solve crimes with the police force. And then I finished reading book 1 in the Something Strange and Deadly series by Susan Dennard. I haven't decided my feelings on this yet. I had the second book ready to read. I will hold my judgment. So, and then some of what I've been watching: Law and Order Special Victims Unit season 23 and episodes for the That's Messed Up and SVU podcast, Not Safe for Children. Gilmore Girls rewatching season 2 with the I Am All In with Scott Patterson podcast. I'm watching season 4 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I watched episodes 5 and 6 yesterday. And Scott Cohen, who played Max Medina in Gilmore Girls, was in episode 5. And Kelly Bishop, who played Emily Gilmore in Gilmore Girls, was in episode 6. And I think she's back in episode 8 as well. But they've announced only one more season. Season 5 will be the final season. And I'm sad because I love this show so much. I rewatched season 5 of Outlander. As I was saying earlier, Outlander season 6 starts today, and I cannot wait to watch it. But I'm glad I rewatched season 5. I binged the whole thing in a week, which was kind of intense. But I'm glad I rewatched it just to kind of refresh where we'd left things. Watching season 15 of Murdoch Mysteries and season 19 of NCIS. Listening to, as always, my favorite murder podcast and random playlists. All right. We made it before the groceries got here. We'll see if we have time to record another segment. Otherwise, I'll be back once I get my groceries. All right, moving on to the next segment. We're going to talk about the December, January, February, walking in a winter wonderland, Ow. So this is completed. This ended at the end of February. First, I want to give a shout out to people who finished projects in the last week and a half-ish or so of the Owl. Those were Andrea J., Brittany M., Jane S., Nadine P., Sarah G., and Tyra J. Great job, y'all. Okay, prizes. Okay. We would like to say thank you to all of our prize donors. Those prizes are on the screen right now. I'm about to announce those winners. If you are a winner, I need you to email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. I need your full name and mailing address for all of the prizes. You'll have 30 days from the day this podcast goes live to claim your prize, or you forfeit it. And here we go. All right, first up. The Santa Claus Hoop Cross-Stitch Kit. The winner of that is post number 16, Tyra J. The Audine Wools by Knit Crate Worsted. We had 2 skeins of Turtle Dove donated by Carlene. Each winner is going to win 1 skein. And those winners are number 130, Jane S., and number 103, Jennifer B.H. And that was Jane without a Y, Jane, Jane. Because we have another Jane. So, the Snowflake Cross Stitch Journal donated by Lori is going to number 26, Sarah G. And the Countess of Blaze Braid in the Northern Lights colorway is going to number 163, Andrea J. So again, those winners are Tyra J, Jane without a Y, S, Jennifer B.H., Sarah G., and Andrea J. Congratulations. Send me an email, ggkcspodcast@gmail.com, full name, mailing address, and we will get those prizes out in the mail to you. Congratulations, winners. And again, thank you to our prize donors. All right, let's talk about our next owl. Groceries have arrived. They've been put away, so we can move on. All right, let's talk about our new owl, our March, April, May, Sheepy Spring owl. Blah. So this started on the 1st of March, and it runs through the 31st of May. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew, and that includes cross-stitch, embroidery, etc., that you can convince us is related to spring. Your fallback, you made it in the spring. Even if you're in the opposite hemisphere, it's okay. No whips are allowed. You can't have started your project before the 1st of March, and it has to be finished by the 31st of May. Every project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin has to be at least 20 yards, 18.3 meters, and you post that in the FO thread in the Facebook group, and that's 1 entry into the giveaways. If it's not at least that yardage, you need to group it into a single photo with other projects that total at least 20 yards. And that will be 1 entry. Pink Pearl, no ma'am. Furniture scratcher. She's got scratching posts. That will be 1 entry into the giveaways. For stitching, sewing projects, we leave it to your best judgment. If you have questions, feel free to email us. You are free to poly dip in other alongs as long as it fits in with the other rules. Please make sure you complete our Google form. There's a link in the show notes, ggkcs.com, as well as in the Facebook group. This helps us when we are drawing for prize winners to make sure you get a prize that is a craft that you do. We'd like to say a huge thank you to our prize donors. The prizes are on the screen right now. Let me run through them for you. We have a Q-snap floral cover, and that's to go around a cross-stitch Q-snap. We have 2 skeins of Audine Wools by Knit Crate Twinkle Decay that are in the Knit Yorker colorway. 2 winners will each win 1 skein. We have a Katrinkles Sheep Shawl Pin. We have a skein of Pandia's Jewels Yarn Delight in the Blush colorway, and we have a Teresa Kogut Angel print. You have to be a member. Oh, I forgot. If you'd like to donate a prize, you can email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. You have to be a member of the GGKCS Podcast FlossTube group on Facebook to participate. If you have not signed up for our Facebook group, links in the show notes. You have to answer the questions. One of them is, who's the mama, Cece or Dammy? Cece, that's me. What is our cat's name? Pink or Pink Pearl or Stinky Butt or Naughty Baby or whatever she's being that day. Stay tuned for after the credits for a very adorable video of Pink. And then the third question is you have to put in the password, and you'll find the password in the rules. You have to agree to the rules and find the password and put it in, and then we'll approve your membership. If you want to post your projects on social media, the hashtag is hashtag GGKCSSpring22. We will lock the FO thread the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn on the next podcast after that. As always, you have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. And there is a chatter thread in the Facebook group if you want to talk about what you're working on. And we don't have any finishes thus far, but it's only March the 6th. So work on those projects, get them posted in the FO thread, and you might be a prize winner. All right, let's move on to the next segment. it's time for Ask the Geeks, the part of the show where you ask us a question and we try to answer it. This question is from Amy. It was originally asked and answered in 2020. Do you set reading goals for the year, as far as how many books you will read in the year? I set goals on Goodreads for the number of books I'm trying to read. If you do set goals, how do you track your progress? I also track on Goodreads. I think I can put a link to my Goodreads in the show notes. So I started using Goodreads in 2015. I'm wondering when I started in the year. I think I must have started partway through the year. Let's just look here. Let's see here. 2015 fiction. I like to break, I have shelves that I put okay, I'm trying to see how I'm going to say this. I have not only the shelves that they have like built in, but I also create 2 shelves every year, one for fiction books and one for nonfiction books. So it looks like I did start a little bit into 2015. So in 2015, I read 181 books. In 2016, I read 373 books. In 2017, I read 357 books. You have to remember that was in the height of my fibromyalgia illness when I was pretty much homebound and was reading a lot. In 2018, I read 296 books. In 2019, I read 216 books. In 2020, I read 266 books, and last year I read 151 books. And my goal for last year was 150 because I bumped it down because I knew I would not be able to read as many books working a full-time job and everything. And I was very proud of myself for getting to 151. This year, again, my goal is 150, and I have read 33 books so far. I'm 7 books ahead of schedule per Goodreads. And I typically don't do written reviews. I typically just do stars of what I thought of the book. And also, I'm a speed reader in terms of fiction. I'm not with nonfiction, especially if it's in the memoir category. I can sometimes read that a little faster, but nonfiction, especially if it's like not in that memoir category, I have to be much more focused and diligent to be aware of what I'm reading. Fiction, I can read very quickly. And yeah, and I purposefully go to bed an hour before I have to go to sleep so that I can read every night. I also read most of my books on my phone, either through the Libby app, which is connected to the libraries that I'm a patron of, or if I've bought books through the Kindle app. It's fairly rare for me to actually read a physical book. I, for the most part, read on my phone, which means then I can read on the bus. I can read at work when I have to go in. I can read lots of places without adding a book to my bag of stuff I need to take places with me. So, yeah. So how about y'all? How do you track your reading? Do you set goals? I would love to hear about it. And if you have a question for us, feel free to go to the Ask the Geeks post in the Facebook group, or post in the YouTube comments, or send me a DM on Instagram, or email us at ggkcspodcast@gmail.com and ask away. Thus far, there's not been a question that we have not been willing to answer, so feel free to ask us anything. All right, let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for my review of Pom Pom Quarterly, Spring 2022 issue 40, Dreamscape. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I have in the past about the patterns, just because it makes this segment very long, and you can go on to their website and get all the details. I will give a little bit of information, but that's what I decided. So obviously Dreamscape is the theme of the issue, and this issue feels very light and flowy to me, is like the feeling that I got as I went through the patterns. Okay, so let me get where I can. All right, first up is Effervescent by Amy Scher. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So, I'm sorry, I am assuming pronouns and that I should not do. They do have pronouns listed, but they are in the very, very back. So I will just go with the name. Amy's inspiration was bubble tea, topped with a savory whipped cream cheese, a specialty in Taiwan, but it's been popularized in Los Angeles where Amy grew up. And I love that little ruffle. It is so pretty. And it is done in a fingering weight yarn. And it's worked bottom up. Oh, that was my coffee pot. I was like, what was that noise? It's worked bottom up in the round and then separated. It's intended to be cropped and the sleeves fall just past the elbow. And there are instructions if you do not want to do the ruffle. So, okay, next up we have Cloud Bow, and this is probably my favorite, by Reed Keys. It comes in two options. It comes in the dress option and the pullover option. Look at that dress. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, so pretty. Reed was inspired by how rainbows form when sunlight reflects through and refracts through raindrops. It's knit in a very, very loose gauge, and you can use either a purposeful contrast with it or use scraps. So it is knit with lace weight, and if you do the scrap method, it can be assortment of scraps from lace weight to Aran weight. And it's worked modularly, starting with the front and back body panels, and then stitches are picked up for the sleeves. And like I said, there are options for the pullover and the dress. I just love it. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. Then we have a pair of socks, Reverie by Allison Lutz. So you can see it's a two-colored sock. Let's see if that's all the pictures of that. Intuitive stranded color work and short pattern repeats. They're top down. It gives you the renewal and regeneration associated with springtime, and it's knit with fingering weight yarn. And like I said, they're top down, and they're very pretty, very, very pretty. Next up is Nerites by Marie Regner. I love that sleeve length. I think it's so flattering. So the title is based on the collective name for 50 sea nymph sisters of Greek mythology. And it is knit with 3 yarns held together. So you need a fingering and a lace weight. You need a fingering and 2 lace weights. And it's worked from the bottom up in the round and then separated for the sleeves. And it's beautiful. I love those sleeves, those bell shaped sleeves. So pretty. Then we have Plumetus by Judy Debrew. See what I mean about it just being really light and flowy, all these pieces? I love that color. Oh my gosh, love that color so much. Julie embraced the fantastical aesthetic of children's stories to design this. It is made with a fingering weight, and a lace weight. And it's worked from the bottom up, mostly with a single strand of mohair lace. And then the collar, sleeve cuffs, and bottom hem are knit using the fingering weight. So pretty. So very, very pretty. Then we have Oneero by Hannah Lubin. I love the gradient look of that. And those little buttons on the sleeve. This was inspired by the nightly narratives our brains produce, each one influencing the next. And it's done as a fade. And you need 3 colors of lace weight yarn. And you hold 3 strands of yarn together for the entire pattern. It's worked flat and sideways in 2 pieces from sleeve cuff working towards the center back. Once the sleeve's been worked, additional stitches are cast on for the front and back panels. When both sides are complete, they are joined at a center back with a 3 needle bind off. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. I love the fade. Okay, then we have another sock pattern, Seraform by Marie Regnier. And again, these are 2 color socks. This was designed to remind us that alluring shapes and textures exist if we turn our gazes skywards every once in a while. And it is a toe-up sock, which I like. It is knit with 2 colors of fingering weight, or a fingering weight and a lace weight. And again, they work from the toe up. It uses a shadow wrap heel. Very pretty. Then we have Althea by Marzina Kolizek. Look at these sleeves, y'all. Look at those sleeves. Look at those sleeves. Oh my goodness. And there's options to not have the floof on the sleeve, but why wouldn't you want the floof on the sleeve? This pullover produces a pillowy marshmallow-like fabric, and the name refers to a flower. The common name is marshmallow. It is done in DK weight and fingering weight and lace weight. It's worked from the top down, and then stitches picked up for the sleeves, and the ruffle stitches are picked up and worked around the sleeve at the end. So there's an option not to put those on. Then we have Floaty by Edda Lilja Gudmundsdottir. That pattern is just really beautiful. So the designer creates illustrated canvas project bags, And this cardigan was initially a cardigan for one of the characters on one of her project bags. So it's very, very pretty. It's done with light fingering weight yarn and lace weight yarn. And it's worked flat from the bottom up. Body and sleeves are worked separately before being joined at the yoke. When you're working with 3 of the colors, you would do it single strand. If you're working with the other 3 colors, you do 2 strands together. And then we have Leonora by Vergara. Look at that. It's like a painting. And it's an invitation to paint with yarns and construct a surrealist work of art in knit form. And it is made with DK weight and lace weight and scrap yarn and beads. It's worked flat in pieces from the bottom up, features charted color work using the intarsia technique. And it's intended to be a freestyle abstract design, perfect for using up scraps from your stash. So that's all the patterns. And then we have an article, Making a World, about creativity by Lilith Green. And then we have a tutorial for Wanda's Flowers, which is a cute little mobile with instructions on how to do that. And then, let's see, the recipe for this issue is honeysuckle cream puffs. Oh, this looks so good. And that is the end. I loved this issue. Probably my favorite is that dress. But this issue hit it out of the park. There's not a single item in here that I did not love. So pretty. Great job, Pom Pom Quarterly. And as always, it smells so good. I don't know if it's the paper, if it's the ink, if it's the combination of the two, but that's the first thing I do every time the issue comes to my flat. So, all right, let's move on to the next segment. Well, with that, friends, we made it to the end of the show. I think it's going to be a little bit longer one, but that Pom Pom Quarterly. Yeah. Okay, just a reminder of some announcements. I am a rep for the Black Needle Society. You can save 5% on everything in the Black Needle Society vault with the code JAVAPEARL5, JAVAPURL and the number 5. The vault is where they put extras that are left over after subscription boxes are sent out. So use that code there. And if you're wanting to join the subscription, which is an every other month box, you can join the wait list at theblackneedlesociety.com, and they add people as space becomes available. We are continuing to co-host the Pride Owl, the Pride Along that started last May and runs through the end of June of this year. There's a YouTube video in the show notes, ggkcs.com, with all the instructions and information about it. And our hashtag is hashtag GGKCS Pride Along 2122. I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, no matter how it is you do it. We're grateful for each of you. If you'd like to support us financially, which mainly goes to helping to ship prizes out and technology behind the scenes, there are several ways. Information about them all can be found in the show notes, the links to it. And if you have any questions, you can send us an email, ggkcspodcast@gmail.com. But we have a Patreon. We have a YouTube join. There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our show notes website if you want to make a one-time donation. We're bookshop.org affiliates, and we make a bookshelf every week with the books that we talk about, and that's linked in the show notes, ggkcs.com. And we're Amazon affiliates if you're going to shop on Amazon. And you can find us online at ggkcs.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, our Facebook group, and all the places. So you can find all those links there. As we talked about at the beginning, I'm holding space for everyone who is going through difficult times right now, whether it be the horrific things happening in the world with the violence happening in Europe, all the way to, you know, people who are fighting COVID, and everything in between. There's a lot going on in the world, and I'm holding space for each of you, and sending love and good wishes during these difficult times. So, all right, I plan to be back with you next week. And yeah, unless something happens, but I do plan to be back with you next week. And until then, happy crafting, stay safe, check on those you love, and I'll talk to you again soon. And stay tuned after the credits for very funny pink videos. All right, bye.
Somebody's birthday's coming up, and I bought her a cave. Thus far, she's cheated and eaten the treats out of it. She was sniffing around it, so I was hoping she was going to try to go inside. I'm hoping she likes this one better than... I mean, we've never bought a cave before, other than there's a cave in her cat condo, but it's so small for her. Whereas this is much bigger, and it's made out of felt. So I'm hoping that she will embrace it. Maybe I should put it up here on the couch where she likes to lay. Hopefully I didn't just spend more money for something to sit in my flat. Things continue. I put a catnip mat inside, and she's halfway in. Are you trying to get it out? No, I wanted you to go in. Why are you not going inside? Come on. Come on. Dig right here. Dig right here. Okay, I cheated. I picked her up and put her in, but she laid down. What do you think? Do you like your cave? Oh, are you going to lay down? Oh, bless you. Bless you. You're going to topple over. The cave shipped flat, so it's got to like kind of spring back to life. But you like that catnip mat? Yeah. Well, I'm surprised you're... Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you. I'm surprised that you stayed in the cave that long. Maybe this bodes for good things. Or it could just be the catnip mat. Oh, bless you. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Good job. You tried. I am happy to share that we have success. She crawled in there by herself and is fast asleep. Mama did good. Mama did good. How can she be so cute and still be such a stinky baby that was scratching my furniture earlier? All right. Thus ends the saga of, will Pink actually use something that I buy for her, or will it sit and just sit? The end.